Salvete omnes, welcome to this video lesson on Capitulum Quintum Decimum, Chapter 15. Magister et Discipuli, the teacher and the students. In pictura est ludus, in the picture is a school. Ludus also means game or sport. For the Greeks and Romans, school was about what you do in your free time, your leisure, if you get to, if you are so lucky. So that's the word in Greek that we often see for school, skole, which means leisure, free time. Ludus means school in Latin, and that's where we get game and sport from in Latin as well. So, for example, ludi skyniki, stage games, that's what they called plays. Ludi gladiatorii, gladiatorial games, and just sport in general would be called ludus in the ancient world. Now, in pictura sunt, in the picture there are, Sextus, Diodorus, Titus, Marcus. So Sextus, Titus, and Marcus are all students. Discipuli sunt, and Diodorus est magister. Diodorus is a teacher. Marcus librum et tabulam et ceteras res ferint. Marcus carrying. Notice the ferens with the ns is a present participle, so that's the ing ending in English. Carrying his book and his tablet and his other things, ceteras res. Tusculum ambulat, walks to Tusculum. Illices ludus porrorum. There, meaning at that place, is a school of boys. Now, mostly in the ancient Roman world, it was just boys who went to school. There were occasional times women or girls went to school. Mostly that would be at schools of philosophy. They were a little more open-minded, philosophers were, that is. But mostly in the ancient world, it was just males going to schools. Now, women might be educated at home with their mothers, but there was a high degree of sexism, patriarchal kind of cultures for the Greeks and the Romans. I would say the Roman women had it better than a lot of ancient cultures, but there were still many strictures and problems that they would face in their society. Multi purri mane in ludum eunt. Many boys go to school in the morning. Magister ludi est vir Graecus. The teacher of the school, master of the school, is a Greek man. Cui nomen est Diodorus, to whom the name is Diodorus. We would say whose name is Diodorus, but remember that's pretty normal in Latin to say to whom the name is. Remember in Latin, if you want to say what is your name, you say quid tibi nomen est, which literally means what to you, tibi, dative case, the name is. So, cui nomen est Diodorus, to whom the name is Diodorus, we would again say whose name is Diodorus. Marcus magistrum metuit. Marcus fears his teacher. Diodorus anem magister severus est. For Diodorus is a strict or severe teacher. Qui discipulos suos virga verberat. Who beats his own students with a wand or switch, virga. You see that in the margin. A baculum is more rigid stick or staff. The virga is more like what we would call a twig or a switch, perhaps a wand. But here you can see it's kind of flexible. El modo, in that way, magister severus, discipulos improbos, punire solet. The strict teacher, magister severus, is accustomed to punish, solet punire, bad or wicked students. Discipuli sunt purri qui in ludum eunt. The students are boys who are going to school. Marcus et Quintus sunt duo discipuli. Marcus and Quintus are two students. Alii discipuli sunt Titus et Sextus. The other students are Titus and Sextus. Sextus qui ante Marcum et Titum ad ludum advenit. Sextus, who is coming to school before Marcus and Titus, primus ludum intrat, first enters the school. Sextus solus est, Sextus is alone, nam ceteri discipuli non dum ad sunt, for the rest of the students are not yet present. Magister intrans, Now notice intrans ends with the ns, so again it is a present participle. The teacher entering. Sextus solum in cella sedentem videt. Sees Sextus alone sitting in a chair. That is, sees Sextus alone sitting in a chair. So now sedentem has the nt, marking that as a present participle, the sitting. And note again, as I mentioned in the previous chapter, the em ending is a third declension ending, which is what you get for these type of present participles. Sextus de cella surgens. Sextus, getting up from the chair. Magistrum salutat, greets the teacher. Salve magister, hello teacher. And the teacher says, Salve sexte, conside. Hello Sextus, sit down. Now conside is, I believe that's a new verb, consido considere. Considere is a synonym for sedere, to sit. You might want to translate it as sit down, just to make it a little bit different. Sextus in cella considit. Sextus sits down in the chair. Discipulus tacitus ante magistrum sedet. The student sits quiet, tacitus, in front of the teacher, ante magistrum. Magister interrogat. The teacher asks, Cur tu solus est, Sexte? Why are you alone, Sextus? Ego solus sum, I am alone. Quod ceteri discipuli omnes absunt, because all the rest of the students are absent. It's kind of a tautology there. Respondit Sextus, answers Sextus. Exclamat magister, the teacher shouts. O discipulos improbos, O wicked, bad students. Sextus says, Num ego discipulos improbos sum? Surely I'm not a bad student. And the teacher replies, Imo, tu probus est discipulos sexte. No way, you are a decent student, Sextus. At Marcus et Quintus et Titus improbisunt, but Marcus and Quintus and Titus are bad, are wicked. Hic Titus ad ludum advenit. Here Titus arrives at school. Et Januam pulsat, and he knocks on the door. Antequam intrat, before he enters. Discipulus non statim intrat. The student does not immediately enter. Sed primum Januam pulsat, but first he knocks on the door. Tum ludum intrat, then he enters the school. Et magistrum salutat, and he greets the teacher. Salve magister. And then the teacher replies, O Tite, Sextus iamad est. Oh, Titus, Sextus is already here. Titus then replies, At Marcus et Quintus nondum sunt, but Marcus and Quintus aren't here yet. So he's trying to make the point, maybe I'm a little late, but I'm not so bad as they are. But the teacher shuts him up. Tace puer, shut up, boy. Claude Januam et conside. Close the door and sit down. Aperite libros puri. Open your books, boys. Sextus statim librum suum aperit. Sextus immediately opens his book. Sed Titus qui librum non habet, but Titus, who does not have a book, says, Ego librum non habeo. I do not have a book. The teacher says, Quid? What? Sextus librum suum habet. Sextus has his book. Tu librum tuum non habes. You do not have your book. Cur librum non habes. Why do you not have your book? And Titus says, Librum non habeo, quod Marcus meum librum habet. I do not have my book, non habeo librum, because Marcus, quod Marcus, has my book, habet meum librum. All right, well, that gets us down to the end of our first section. I hope that made sense and you learned a few things there. Just watch out for, in this chapter we've got a good bit of new vocabulary. So the yam is the opposite of non dum. So here it's already. You might have seen that as now before. Tum is a synonym for dane, day, then. Janua, synonym for ostium, door. At is a synonym for said. So it's a stronger word for but, you could say. All right. Well, valete omnes. Till next time.